And guess whose fault?
Guess who's fault?
Late?
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm here.
I was kind of running around.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah. I mean, it's not the end of the world. I mean, 2 minutes late, 3 minutes late. It's not like, you know what we can do? We can take it off on Ted's tips time. Yeah. We just make him talk less.
something happens to the microphone.
What happened to the microphone? No, it's fine. It's fine.
I can just talk faster.
We're going to need to scream very loudly the entire time.
Well, that's what I do when I listen to the show on Spotify. I listen on ×3.
Oh, speed?
It's like speed reading.
So I tried doing that with a book, and every once in a while, they would just start saying things that were so fast that I just couldn't quite understand what was going on.
When Ted laughs.
Ted,
it's like,
yeah, because he's reading his phone right now. That's how everybody should know.
I'm reading the tip.
I know you are.
But I was so caught up today. So I forwarded the email for the Ouija board.
Yeah.
And with the intention of opening all those links, I didn't get to any of them. But I know what a Ouija board is. So that's good.
Well,
yeah.
You know what? And that's better than what? 95% of the guests.
It's a portal.
Because we talk about something, and Ted's just like, "What is that?"
No, he knows what cheese
we should
is.
ask
He
that.
knew what cheese and honey was.
It's a portal to invite evil spirits.
He wasn't sure about mustard, though, on that show.
Yeah, Teddy, you don't use mustard for anything, do you?
Oh, hot dogs. Yeah, I'm a mustard fan.
When's the last time you ate I've never seen you eat a hot dog in my life.
Actually, you know what? I did stop at Blaze and Grill a few nights ago on the way home, and hate to admit it, I did get a hamburger and not a hot dog, but like a bratwurst, and I had it with everything: onion, mustard, sauerkraut. Yeah.
So, Mark, we're here, and all the people are listening. I said, Ted, I have never seen you eat a hot dog. And he goes, well, I will say this. I
had
did.
a burger.
I did eat a hot dog the other day. It was a hamburger.
Yeah. And a bratwurst.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. I always put I would never put ketchup on a hot dog.
What about catsup?
Catsup.
I don't buy that. I'm sorry.
So we're talking about groceries right now, right? Ketchup, mustard, bratwurst, burgers.
Okay.
I was at Jewel today,
Oh, God.
and I bought a lot of food, and then I bought 3 packages of chicken, and I forgot to pay for it, and I left. Like $35 worth of chicken.
Like you left the store with the items?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
I had a huge...
Oh, and you forgot. You know what?
I did a self-checkout, so I had
Okay.
and this, I'm honest to God, and I took a picture of it because I'm going to go back and pay
Yeah,
for
that's
it.
nice of you. So, yeah.
But I had my whole cart loaded, and they have a special on blackberries and strawberries for $1.99 if you use this digital coupon. So I have the app. The coupon wasn't scanning. So I rang up all the strawberries and all the berries and rang up at $4.99. And then I tried putting a coupon on and wouldn't take it. So the girl had to come over, void each item out, go get her manager's card to bypass something, and it was like a whole fucking shit show. And she just took over the register. And the only thing I had left to ring out, which I had on the side, inside the cart, was my chicken. So I was patient. I was glad she's helping me. She got everything set. Everything was good, and she hit finished and paid. And I paid, and I walked out, and the chicken was just like I didn't pay for it. So I got to the car. I'm like, oh, shit. Because I didn't bag it, I'm like, no, it doesn't happen. It's never happened to me.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a mistake. I heard things happen.
Yeah,
in the,
I don't think I've
self-checkout
ever.
line.
I don't
Yeah.
think I've
It's
ever
never
done
happened.
anything
I
that
was so
big, but
Yeah.
I know I probably, like, if I got multiple things, I probably only scanned 2. Like, I went scanned, and maybe whatever. Maybe didn't get all of them, but
Well, for the record, I did take pictures of everything, and I got my receipt, so I'm going tomorrow, and I'm
that's
paying
nice
for
of
it.
you.
I'm not going to fucking...
That's nice
I'm not
of you.
going to not
you don't
pay
want
for
that
it.
hanging over your head.
Yes.
Because karma.
Yep.
Wait, does a Ouija board have anything to do with karma?
A Ouija
It probably
Yeah.
doesn't hurt if you have good karma. Yeah, I mean, my understanding you're inviting spirits from through a portal because the Ouija board's a portal.
I guess.
You know
Yeah.
who makes Ouija board?
Yeah.
Yeah. Parker Brothers.
Parker Brothers.
I was gonna say Hansbro.
Same guys that make Monopoly.
Okay.
And Monopoly is also a portal.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a portal to anger and cheating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To being a land baron.
I mean, come on, think about it. You've played all the times you've ever played Monopoly. You have 3 things that have happened, right? You've won, and you don't know exactly how.
I've never won.
But
I've
you
never won at
gloated.
Monopoly.
You gloated.
You've never won at Monopoly.
You've never won.
I want to say that I
He's never played.
stupidly given up all the railroads.
He plays
and
Monopoly when he has
utilities.
hot
How do you
dogs.
give up the
Yeah.
railroads?
Well,
What do you mean?
that's what happened. And then I'll get cool places like Baltic Avenue, I won't get the boardwalk, and then somebody will build a hotel with those 4 greenhouses, and I'll land on that, and then I don't have the money to pay for it. And
I always go for the brown and purple properties,
and then I have to
Ted is looking for the slumlord button.
And then
how do I become a slumlord?
get out of jail.
So my niece Shayna, her thing is to get the 4 railroads.
Yeah.
And I guess the kids play all the
and the
time, and she
utilities too,
wins.
yep.
I guess she wins all the time just by getting. And they keep giving her the railroads because I think the goal is the one time she won't win, and she wins pretty much every time. So, yeah, I think. It's
my
funny.
kids always go for Park Place and Boardwalk, which are sucker.
Yeah.
They're suckers, and then they end up losing all the time. I get the cheapest properties, put hotels on them.
Yeah.
Get the 4 railroads, the utilities. That's where it's at.
4 greenhouses, 1 red hotel.
Greenhouses are houses. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't realize it. I thought we were putting up whorehouses. So why would I get a whore hotel? I went for whorehouses,
Right.
not a whore hotel.
Yeah.
That didn't seem like, I don't know. It just didn't seem like a thing to me. I've never heard of a whore
Which is
hotel.
actually funny because in real life you would think that 4 higher end houses would be more valuable than say 1 hotel, which is because that's more of a unless I guess you could have like an extended stay America where people live
Ted,
there.
it's a game.
Okay.
Yes, it's not.
Well, it's kind of a microcosm for real life.
Okay, so our
Ted's
next
houses have swimming pools.
our next goal is to get the creator Monopoly and then ask him what was his mathematic formula for the hotel. Can you just explain the goddamn hotel to me, sir?
I think there's a very interesting backstory about the game Monopoly that I think Parker Brothers stole it from.
Of course, it's the American way. You guys steal the ideas.
Yeah, I mean they.
I think I heard something about that.
Yeah,
once.
it's a pretty interesting story.
So
We'll do a show on it.
Was
sometime.
a Monopoly
Get
actually
a game person on the show?
Wasn't it invented during the
tried.
Great Depression? Was it?
Something
I think
like
it was
that,
yeah. So, but yeah, actually, I wouldn't mind playing Monopoly with you guys. Just to
Oh God,
Just
it
to
takes
see-
forever.
No,
And,
it doesn't.
Ted, you would.
It doesn't. You don't play it the right way. That's why.
yeah, you could could we play fast?
No,
We're
you
talking
don't.
some-
It's
what
actually
I use dice and the cards.
no.
just
money.
We play Monopoly in an hour. It's about. It does sometimes. It doesn't even take an hour.
That's impossible.
Every time you land on a property, do you guys go up for auction or no?
I don't really play Monopoly anymore.
Okay, so you
yeah, the
don't-
kids play. It seems a little.
So
boring.
the reason why it takes so long is because people don't play by the rules, and you have house rules too that you can mix in, which is fine.
Oh, so everything you land on has to be bought
yes.
at every time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it. Yeah,
And
I
then
remember
that's
that.
why
I
it
remember
goes
that.
by so fast. But most people, they say, no, I don't want to buy it, and then they move on, and the next person has to land on it. But that's not the case. If you don't want to buy it, it goes up for auction. So
Oh, so I
somebody
didn't know
else
that.
has a right to buy
I
it.
forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. For the price they're asking for it, or you can negotiate because since it's an
No, it's auction.
now.
So
It starts
if
at
somebody
the,
didn't want to buy it,
at the price.
Oh, it
yeah,
starts at the
and
minimum
then
price.
then we would.
So let's just say I wanted that 4th railroad and it was 200, but I really want it, but I'm willing to pay 500 for it now. That's
Yeah.
what you mean.
Well,
okay.
yeah,
got it.
yeah.
And that's the way people run out of
Right.
money and or gain all the properties.
See,
right
now we
away.
did that, but then we had the inspector come in, so
Yeah.
he had to
Health
inspect all the
inspector, health
properties.
inspector,
yeah, then the tax guy would come in, and it was just I mean, we shortened it, but then we prolonged it massively.
And then OSHA came in and shut down your railroad.
Yeah, it was a lot of violations, a couple of train accidents. The railroad commission did not.
Wasn't our pal real quick? Wasn't our pal Pete talking about like the guy? It was the guy's last day at work at the railroad after being there for like 35 years, and he stepped on another rail and like a train came and like ran him over like the day before he retired.
Yeah, there's some fun.
That was my story.
Oh,
Yeah, there's some fun stories. Railroad.
That's sad. That's a sad
Some
story.
fun. So I work at the golf course with a retired cop. He's not a Chicago cop. He's a suburb cop. So it's not a big deal. But once we start talking about anything, no matter what the topic is, any topic at all, say shoes. Oh, and then he's got 10 stories about people who've stolen shoes, and he knows them. I mean, he literally every single detail. So it's to the point where we're standing there, and somebody says something, and Gary goes, one of the guys goes, no. He didn't mean that. No. We're not talking about shoes. We're not. Yeah. He goes, no shoes. He goes, and I got to go, and he just turns, and there's customers there. He just turns and walks away,
Yeah, that's
so he
funny.
doesn't have to hear the stories. And I'm just like, I get it.
Yeah.
I think I get it. And I just turned and walked away, and he just was telling the story. It was the funniest thing to no one, waiting for us to come back, but just telling the story over and over again.
Yeah.
Like, same stories.
He's looking for some validation.
Talking to a
His
box of
stories aren't exciting enough.
box of Pro V1s.
Yeah.
He was telling that story too.
Yeah, I mean, there's no one in his stories. Nothing really ever happens because it was the suburbs. So it was
Yeah.
like somebody stole something, and then we busted them, and then this happened. And he was like, did you shoot somebody? Did somebody get stabbed?
Yeah.
Did somebody get shot?
Yeah.
What the hell happened here? Did anything happen in this story?" He's like, "Well, I mean, he was arrested." I'm like, no, I don't want that. I don't want that at all. All right, couple of things. Did you guys know cockfighting is legal in a lot of places?
I heard about that. I wasn't sure where though.
So cockfighting is very popular in Southeast Asia, the Philippines, Latin America, and some parts of Europe.
Yeah, I was talking about like here in
No, completely
yeah,
illegal.
yeah.
Here in America,
That's like saying dogfighting. Yeah, well, anything's legal out there, right? Anything where there's gambling involved and there's no rules, there's no nothing.
So here's what's kind of funny. In Manila, the sport is huge, mainly because of the gambling part. Okay, and this is pretty wild. Did you guys see this story about the Manila police officers?
No.
Okay,
No.
so 15 Manila police officers were arrested, indicted, or whatever. They have cockfighting, and some people were cheating, and mainly the gambling part. Okay,
Yeah.
so I don't know exactly how they cheated, but gamblers lost, and one big time gambler, literally the main man in Manila,
Yeah.
who
The whale,
who
the whale,
runs
the whale, yeah, the
of,
whale,
of,
yeah,
of
gambling.
cockfighting.
Yeah.
Okay, so he paid off 15 police officers. You ready for this? To kidnap and murder.
Yeah.
The 50 is right around 50 people. I think it's 46 or 48
Yeah.
people.
Wow.
The 46 or 48 people that he thought were part of that cheated.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's what happened.
I'm sure you could cheat at that, right? Cockfighting. You
Oh,
could just
I'm
like,
sure.
well, it's like
Well,
horse racing. Like you could feed the horse before the race, or drug them with something where they're
So
lethargic.
they're giving roosters steroids? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I'm sure there's something you could do where they're not as aggressive. You know, I mean,
Cocaine.
shave down their beak. I don't know. I'm sure there's a ton of things you could do, just little things that maybe you can't.
Cocaine.
Cocaine instead of was it cocaine beer? So it'd be cocaine
What about,
chicken.
What about like bath salt? Wouldn't the rooster go ape shit and just completely maul the other rooster?
I
It'd be like
don't
a-
know, but so these cops killed 46 people.
Wow.
Yeah, they killed 46 people. You ready for this? And this is what blew me away. They started off by kidnapping the people, and I mean they're all gambling and I don't know,
Oh,
whatever.
that's
Maybe
okay.
they're all good people. I don't
okay
know.
then.
Yeah.
So they started by
It's okay,
throwing
Ted.
the bodies in a lake.
Okay.
In Manila.
Yeah.
But then they found the bodies.
Yeah, so I'm assuming the fact that we're talking about this case that the whale who maybe was untouched at touchable time is now indicted for murdering.
So far, just the cops.
Oh, okay.
So far, just the 15 cops. But
Yeah.
I'm sure one of them will rat him out. So they started by throwing the bodies in a lake, and then they found the bodies.
Yeah.
Then they started burning the bodies.
Yeah.
But someone, I guess they were burning them in a place where they were finding the ashes and seeing the flames. I have no
Well, I
idea.
mean, 46 people is a lot of people to murder.
You ready for
know?
this? At the end, they were kidnapping the people and throwing them in a volcano.
Yeah, wow.
They have a kind of like an off-on kind of
Semi-active volcano.
yeah, semi-active.
Yeah, yeah.
I think they call
They
it
finally
restive.
figured it out. They went from water to burning. Just put them in the fucking volcano.
Just put him in, and they were throwing bodies in the volcano.
Well, you got to figure in countries
I
like
love
that.
that
Well,
story.
in countries like that, it's obviously easier to get away with murder because you got like just like a countryside where it's just nothing. There's no government.
Just
there's no
volcanoes.
nothing.
There's nothing but
Volcanoes.
volcanoes.
There's nothing.
Just volcanoes everywhere.
That's why crimes you can get away with in other countries you can't get away with here, like kidnapping,
have-
right?
Can you
get
blame it
away-
on
we
King
have
Kong?
volcanoes.
Like maybe King Kong got him? Is it King Kong from there?
Philippines?
Well, actually, wasn't
Didn't King Kong? I thought went through America, didn't he?
No, he was on an
in, like,
island somewhere,
Asian,
like the
like
movie.
Taiwan
Yeah, the
or
movie with
somewhere.
Jack Black. He was on an island, and then they got him off the island or something.
Skull Island.
Yeah.
So they could have found. So you just find bodies and you just drive by and you just throw them on the island and let King Kong eat them.
Yeah, we got to remember like how corrupt these Southeast Asian countries are. Here's a tip.
So and for all our listeners in Manila, we
still
apologize
love
for what
you.
Ted just said.
We still love you, but yeah. So if there's a country and there's a government building called the Anti-Corruption Building, you can guarantee if they have to specifically say there's an anti-corruption building, let's just assume everybody's corrupt. Everybody's corrupt.
That would
How
be.
does it even make any sense?
Well, it makes perfect sense. Yeah.
I would. Well, you wouldn't expect it.
I was in Southeast Asia, and so a political rival was gunned down in broad daylight, I think at a gas station, like literally 2 blocks from where I was staying. And so the cops came, obviously contaminated the crime scene, and then they just took the guy's body and they
threw
just
it in the volcano.
No, they just rode him down the street, and then miraculously they captured the guy who did it, who was like some poor peasant who had a $5,000 gun, and allegedly the reason he killed him is because this guy owed a gambling debt. Obviously, none of it made sense, of course,
So a poor guy instead
got their
of
man.
selling the gun, he used the gun.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That makes
Yeah,
perfect sense.
so,
to
yeah,
me.
it's just hilarious, though.
Okay, speaking of death and foreign countries, if you again we know this, if you work for the Russian government, you have a problem, right? Everybody knows that. So the transportation minister, just allegedly got caught for stealing money from the Russian government.
Yeah,
Which is basically stealing money from Vladimir Putin.
And which window did he fall out of?
Ted, he did not fall out of a window.
Or which window will he be falling out?
So he was fired.
Oh.
Right, and then he committed suicide.
Okay.
Literally committed suicide. Here's the deal. I guess at some point, like a year ago, because he took the job. He took the job a little less than a year ago. So about 6 months ago, they gave him this is your gift. And I don't even believe this. It could be a lie or not. The gift he got for working and not stealing for 6 months was a very fancy gun, very fancy pistol.
Yeah,
like gold inlay on the handle and a very fancy pistol. Then a few months later, he got busted. They found out he was stealing, and they fired him. And he used that pistol to kill himself. They did an investigation. It lasted almost a day.
Yeah,
and he just killed himself.
So those 3 bullet wounds to the back of his head while he was zip tied, it was determined to be a suicide. I get it. Yeah.
And here's what I'm thinking.
I understand.
The Russian cops must be the greatest cops in the world because they solve every crime literally within 24 hours.
Yeah.
It's, you know what? Suicide by what? Gun, jump out of a building. I mean, that's about all you got left, right? Yeah. Oh, didn't one guy jump out of his plane blew up.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what you're really teaching somebody.
That was a Chechnyan leader that allegedly was going to have that coup against Vladimir Putin. And they said he was like dead man walking, and then sure enough, like 6 months later,
dead man flying.
Yeah, exactly.
Really, that's what he was.
Yeah.
So I just thought every time I see this, I think, I mean, what does it go about every 3-4 months? If you work for the Russian government, somebody's going to die.
Well, some guy just recently, I think in the last few days, I think he was some executive. He fell out a window within the last few days.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love falling out of. I love when people fall out of a window. All right. We got to get this started here. This is the Real 3 Idiots podcast, and happy National Cow Appreciation Day. So I'd like you guys to just take a second and think about all the great stuff cows give us.
Did you know cows kill more people every year than I think pit bulls? Like, I think they're pretty dangerous. I'm serious. Like, statistically, I think.
What do you compare it to a pit bull?
No, I'm saying.
How many people do?
I think cows kill more people every year than, say, a shark attack, because I know sharks are villainized. But I think people who, the cow tipping thing, it lands on them. Cow weighs like a ton. Yeah,
we went cow tipping.
Yeah,
it was terrifying. That cow got up and chased after us. I honestly thought.
I don't think more people are killed by cows than.
I think so. Yeah, I think there's a statistic.
You know what the problem is, Mark?
What about horses?
He's probably right.
Of course, horse is a horse. Of course,
more people fall off a horse.
Yeah.
Oh, and if you're wondering, there are over 1,000 different breeds of cattle on the earth.
Wow.
And if you care, they're all delicious. Every single one of them is absolutely fantastical. All right, let's see. If you enjoy this episode, if you learned something today, please consider following the show, subscribing to your favorite podcast platform, or leaving a 5-star review. This helps the podcast more than I could say. This allows us to reach more and more people, and it would mean the world to us. Visit us at our website, voteforted.com. That's FORE. Or just Google the Real 3 Idiots podcast. All right, Teddy, we've got to get to your tip because we have a guest today, and we want to be on time. Okay. Mark, you want to do the song first?
No.
Okay, then I will do your sponsor. Ted's Tips is brought to you by the Syrian Office of Tourism. Syria is more than just a collection of buildings in various states of disrepair. They have a wonderful museum where you can see what Syria looked like when it wasn't a collection of buildings in disrepair. Their street markets are filled with beautiful handmade crafts, and it is the least likely place to get kidnapped or robbed in all of Syria. When you're planning your next vacation, check out Syria. It's dangerous, but so is Detroit.
So there is actually a thing. There's a new niche tourism. It's called danger tourism, where people purposely go to these like really unstable countries. Like, for example, the Taliban. True story in Afghanistan is inviting tourism into their country, and I think some guy just went to South Sudan or something, just somewhere where it's just like, it's just chaos everywhere. But I guess you brought a couple of bodyguards, like that's going to help. But apparently these people are going out of their way to go to these like super dangerous parts of the world just so they can say they did it, and because it's edgy and they're cool.
Oh, you know what? I read one. Russia is doing that. They're doing transportation ministry for a day. You just get to experience what it's like to be the minister of transportation, and then they kill you. Yeah, it's super dangerous. If you can get away, if you don't fall out of the building or get shot,
Ted's
you're
got
all
a
set.
birthday coming up.
And we'll send it to Russia.
Okay,
Trip to Syria. Ted, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's not just buildings in various states of disrepair.
Sure.
No.
Yeah. All right, Mark, sing us a song.
You need someone, a worker to talk to, someone who'd care to tip. Could it be Ted? Could it be Ted? Situation gets rough and you start to panic. It's not enough. This pack of Xanax. Hey, man, you're sick. Well, Teddy, this is it. You could all just tip off into the air. Behind his back is a wobbly chair. He'll tip you bad, but you don't mind. He'll tip you bad. He does it all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he does it all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
Teddy does it all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That was cute.
That's a Violent Femmes, correct?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I love the Violent Femmes.
think.
Oh, man. That was, I think back to college. I think we played like the same 30, 40 songs constantly over and over and over again. Yeah, it was crazy.
I remember the Violent Femmes.
All right, Teddy, here is your tip. It is short, it is sweet, and there's a little quiz part of it because I have some answers right here. Okay. All right. You're just hearing this for the first time.
Yep.
Okay. Ted, I need your advice.
Seriously, I am hearing it for the first time.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, that's nice.
Ted, I need your advice. I'm taking a vacation with my girlfriend, and we have narrowed it down to 3 places: New Zealand, Spain, and Norway. We have never been to any of them, and you get to break the tie. Matt knows which spot I picked and which one my girlfriend picked. We think we know you pretty well. Michelle and Lawrence, Carlsbad, California. And I have their choices right here. They each picked one that they said you would pick because they know you.
Does anyone know anybody really well?
Does anyone really know what time it is?
What time is love?
Okay, so they get the 3 places: New Zealand, Spain, Norway. Teddy, what would you tell these 2 people? And they didn't put in any
that's fine.
ages, so I don't know
that's
how
fine.
old they are. Let's assume they're...
Yeah, just assume they're. Well, let's see why their names. Michelle and Lawrence. Lawrence is a little bit. If he calls himself Lawrence instead of Larry, I'm going to say they're just maybe a little bit older. Just going by the names, I would say by Lawrence, I would say he's a man.
But I
A
like
middle-aged
Lawrence way
man.
better than I
He's a
like Larry.
A middle-aged man, probably a middle manager.
No,
in an
I feel
accounting
like
firm.
I feel like Larry is a terrible name. So Lawrence is a much cool. We call Charles.
But isn't Larry short for Lawrence?
Yeah,
Just
but
like
it sounds terrible.
Just like
Larry sounds terrible.
Just like Dick is short for Richard.
Yeah, that was my dad's name. Everybody called him Dick. It was so weird. I never got that concept.
Did you giggle? Did you giggle every time they said Dick?
Yeah, what,
Are we
have my
done-
dad smack me in the head? Yeah, that'd be a great idea. Absolutely.
Are we done with
genius.
the tip?
Yeah. No,
Is
okay.
that it?
Okay, so the tip is, guys, unfortunately, guys, I've never been to any of those 3 places. I would like to visit sometime, but I would say if it was me personally, I would say I would go either Spain or Norway and skip New Zealand.
Or Zealand.
I would say Spain because at least you're kind of in Europe, so you got Portugal next door. I think there's some really cool Baroque architecture there. Norway, you're one of those Scandinavian countries. That's something. So I'm just going by my personal preference where I would visit. So if I had to pick personally, I would probably forego New Zealand and go Spain and then Norway. And I can't. I mean, I've read good things. There's obviously downsides. There's tourist traps everywhere, but I would just go Spain. That's just me. So
So you're just jumping out to Spain.
just jump to Spain. Yeah. So.
Wow.
And then, then like I said, maybe because they got, I don't know how far Portugal is from Spain, but I heard Portugal's beautiful too, so.
It's kind of right next to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of right next to it.
Okay.
Do you not know how the map works? Have you never seen a map?
I'm not looking at it right this second, so,
Well, you're not looking at it at all. I mean,
We get-
I was really hoping that you would kind of look at this
is,
stuff.
is Norway near Sweden?
Oh, my God.
Denmark, yeah, so. Yeah, it depends what time. I wouldn't want to go to Norway when it's like wintertime, when it's like minus 40 outside, obviously,
Oh,
I know
okay.
it's
So
cold.
now
Yeah.
you're giving a little bit extra advice. You're saying
I would
don't
say,
go when
yeah,
it's 40.
Yeah, I would
minus
say
40.
go to Norway in the balmiest time of year. So if the balmiest time of year is like say 65 degrees, I would when it would be cold and miserable. Yeah, so I would just wherever you're going. Like I said, I'd probably skip New Zealand for now and go Spain when the weather's temperate. Not when it's like blazing hot. I don't know how it gets there, or if there's like a rainy season. But yeah, I would say wherever you go, make sure the
Oh, you
weather's
have really
cooperative.
so Michelle and Lawrence are really getting the best of this because Ted has put 0 effort. I honestly thought he'd look a little at some of this.
Well,
Like,
where did they say they were going to go?
okay, so
Lawrence wants to go to New Zealand, and she wants to go to...
so Michelle said that Ted would pick Spain, and Lawrence said that Ted would pick Norway. So they were dead on. They left out New
Yeah.
Zealand completely. Is that
And
crazy?
where do they want to go, though?
They said they're going to let Ted decide.
Oh,
Yeah, so I'm guessing that Michelle wanted Spain and figured Ted would pick Spain, and that's what I'm kind of figuring maybe that's what it was, or maybe they were just going ahead and guessing what you would pick.
So
And now they're going to go to New Zealand.
So the second part of my tip is, Lawrence, second part of my tip, if your girlfriend, you want to keep her happy, just go to Spain. If you have no strong feelings, just agree with her and everything and go to Spain. Or you could have an angry woman sitting next to you on the plane for 10 hours, burning her eyes, burning her gaze through you.
But they were. I think that the concept behind it is that the three of them were, that the three places were okay for any of them.
No, trust me. There's always a preference, So it's like being polite. It's like saying, "Hey, can I pay for this?" But you don't really mean it.
I will tell you this: New Zealand's a much further flight than Spain.
Well, I think New Zealand's really out there. Yeah, so.
Yeah, from California.
I think Spain's a logical choice because, like I said, at least you have other options in the immediate region.
I do like that concept.
So I would just say Spain then.
Yeah, I do like that concept where you can go to other things because I think you take trains and stuff.
Yeah, so let's just say Spain's a dud. It's not what you. Spain's a dud. No, but I'm saying it doesn't live up to your expectations. Yeah, you hop on a train or some low cost transportation and just go to Portugal next door, go somewhere else.
Just Yelp Spain. Yeah. Get on Spain's Yelp page, right? And just be like, yeah, you know what? Really, it's kind of a bummer. Just kind of a no-go on that one.
Take a train to Monte Carlo.
Yeah. I kind of like that.
How about the midnight train to Georgia? All
right, now let's see what our guest says. Okay, let's see if he's been to any of those places. John, have you been to either New Zealand, Spain, or Norway, or all of them?
I've been to all of them before.
Holy shit!
And if it was me picking by myself without any input from the people that wanted the advice, then my answer would be New Zealand.
Oh.
And I picked New Zealand because, A, if you are not used to traveling internationally and speaking other languages, New Zealand is probably the easiest country to get around as far as travel-wise. It's very beautiful. It's so remote that more than likely it would be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to go, whereas the other ones are much closer and you could go to more often and use them as stepping points to go to other European cities. Scandinavia in general is beautiful, and I would highly recommend if you went there, you would hit all 4 countries and go to all the big cities, Copenhagen, Stockholm, whatever. But New Zealand would be my pick. Spain is amazing, but each city is different from each other. You would have to rely on trains, travel, and if you don't speak Spanish, which I don't, you have to rely on other people to help you.
All right, so John, I have said this to many of our guests, but can you be here at 6:15 every Tuesday because you did a far better job than Ted? Thank you very much.
I wish I would have consulted
10
him
times
right before
better.
this.
I feel like Ted, I feel like every time I ask a guest, their answer is literally, and no offense to you, way better than yours.
I'm offended. I'm offended because I was so articulated and well thought out that I feel like I just got Wally pipped.
Yeah, Ted, you've been Wally pipped.
And that's Lou Gehrig.
Ted, you're Wally pipped. If you were Wally Pipp, you would have never even gotten a play. They would like in practice, they would have had John come in and be like, okay, we Ted, go away. Yeah. All right, so let's do this. Our guest this week is John Kozik, and he is from the Salem Witchboard Museum in Salem, Massachusetts. John, welcome to the show.
Welcome.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited. I've been listening to the show, and excited to talk to you. I just want to point out I'm a little nervous because the other 2 guys in the other room, I don't hear them so well. So I'm sorry if I have to ask you to repeat yourself.
Oh, that's okay. Everybody, It seems like it's kind of a common thing, but that's okay. You know what? We'll have them enunciate and articulate very well.
Perfect.
I think it's awesome that everybody can hear me. I like that better.
Yeah, I know that's your thing.
It is. Yeah. It is my thing.
That's because you have our mics cut.
So John, give us the short version. What is the Salem Witchboard Museum?
It's the world's only museum dedicated to the history and lore of the Ouija board, as most people know it. And it has everything you can imagine related to Ouija, not just the people behind it, but the stories of people using it, and every way it impacts pop culture.
And it's crazy. So, as I'm doing my research, because you're coming on, I'm finding out is the Ouija board is like 150 years old. Is that right?
Yep. 1890 is the Ouija, which is the brand. Most people are not aware, but Ouija is a brand like Kleenex to tissues. Ouija is to talking boards. And so that's one of the oldest brands in America. It's actually older than Coca-Cola, but 1890.
Wow. Okay, so the guy who invented it, did he invent it for people to use as, because I'm seeing this, to kind of use to talk to spirits, or did he just invent it kind of as a game and it was more like just a fun thing?
Well, I think you got to tell 2 different parts. Pre-Ouija, these boards are kind of homemade for roughly 30, 40 years, coming about during the Civil War, post-Civil War kind of thing. And in that time, they're used specifically to speak to people that they lost during the war. So it is a spirit communication tool. They're homemade up until 1890, with Ouija becoming the first mass produced board. And because these guys are spiritualists, capitalists, they want to sell as many of these as possible. They kind of leave it very open ended as to how it works. They simply just say, put your hand on the planchette, the pointy piece, and ask a question and it moves. So they're leaving it up to you to decide whether or not it's a spirit, if it's your subconscious or something else. But right from the very beginning, Ouija is patented as a toy. So it's taxed as a toy. That's the main reason it's a toy from the very beginning.
All right, and so I was kind of looking at this because I know it's got a lot of kind of deals with people, kind of talking to people and death and those kind of things. And one of the things I looked up as I was kind of looking up the history is that death was a lot different in the 1800s because there was a lot more of it. I mean, think about it like this.
People died young.
Right. So number one, women would have lots of kids, and about half or so would live. People, the life expectancy was about 50. So it seemed like they were using this to give people more, not really to talk to spirits, but just to ease them that someone who was very young died and they're in an okay, better place. Is that kind of how the concept sort of started? Does that kind of make sense?
Well, I mean, it's post-Civil War, so it is people affected by death and wanting to communicate with who they lost. But I think in 1890, like you said, death is viewed very differently. You got to think people would take a family member and after they pass away, put them on display in the parlor, which becomes a funeral parlor. You take their hair and make jewelry out of it, take, photographs of the dead. And those are all things that no one would probably think to do today. So they're viewing death differently, and they're definitely viewing the Ouija board a lot differently.
Oh man, I like the concept of it. Okay, so when does when does the Ouija board become this conjurer of evil spirits and the place where you do this and you go to bed and now there's evil spirits in your house? When does that start?
Well, it starts from the beginning as far as true crime stories go. There's a suicide by 1900, murders by the 1930s, all centered around the Ouija board. And certainly in horror movies, it's been there from the beginning. The first talking horror movie is called The Terror from 1928. There's a Ouija board in it. In horror movies, it escalates further and further and further until you get to the time of The Exorcist. And in that horror movie, which everyone saw, is really where you get the superstitions people believe, like don't use the Ouija board alone or always say goodbye. Those come from that movie. So that really changed a lot of people's views, whether they know it or not. It's a very subliminal scene that she uses the Ouija board, and that's how they explained how she became possessed. But I think that in time changes people's views because it times with the end of the Vietnam War, which was the last major U.S. war with the draft. Less people using it the way it's intended to, and it becomes more of a dare game, a sleepover party game, as opposed to talking to who you lost.
So I do remember that having used one that you have to say goodbye. I remember there was.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I remember there's rules. Yeah, there was a whole bunch of rules about
does that come
how
in
to
instructions?
start and how to finish.
So there's like an instruction pamphlet in
Yeah, no, isn't it written on the board? Goodbye.
It has the word goodbye at the bottom. A lot of people confuse that as a rule to say goodbye, but it's really no different than having yes and no printed on there. It was just a way to speed up conversation.
Oh,
After The Exorcist, people started making that rule up. So when you buy the newest Ouija board today, that rule, number 8, always say goodbye, is there. But prior to The Exorcist, that rule is not on the board.
Holy cow! So
that's crazy how much like pop culture and it that's insane. It changed that movie changed the way they produced the board.
I mean, it timed with because everyone's seeing it.
Yeah.
It's a movie that everyone saw, and it's subliminal because so many people come to the museum and they'll say, "John, I love the movie. I've seen it a dozen times. Are you sure there's a Ouija board in The Exorcist?" So it's subliminal to a lot of people.
okay, so I looked it up. There's got to be. I mean, so just Ouija board focused and witch board focused movies. There's got to be 10 or 12 with Ouija or witch board in it. But
There's over 500.
What? No
There's
way.
over 500. We have a database going, and between all the shows that put it in there or the titles of the movies, there's well over 500.
Holy crap. That's crazy.
And it's made by we were just talking about Parker Brothers, right?
Well, they went out of business. They did own it for a few years. They had bought it from the Fold family for $1 million, the most paid for a game. at that point in 1966. It outsold Monopoly in 67, first and only game to do so. But Parker Brothers went out of business, and Hasbro is the current owner of
Okay.
the trademark today. The patent expired, but you have the trademark on the name still.
And they've been selling these, you said, since 1890, right?
Yep.
That
Yeah, it's
is
amazing.
that is absolutely crazy. Okay, so you have this awesome museum, and do people when they're doing movies, do you get contacted to because I mean you're basically a Ouija board expert. Do they contact you to make things authentic or how it works and stuff? Have you ever been part of a movie?
I've been a part of a few. My best friend Robert Murch, who's also a curator at the museum, him and I belong to a group called the Talking Board Historical Society, and we're a registered nonprofit who research, preserve, and celebrate the history of these boards. He has consulted on many, many films. I've only consulted on a few of them. But yes, as experts, we do get reached out to not only, what set up the scene, to how it should be used in the scene. It's a slow conversation to what board they might be able to use. Because it's a trademark brand, you have to be careful as to what you put on screen, legal wise. So yeah, we get asked consult.
Oh, okay. So now let me ask you this then. Then this leads right up to it. Do you believe that it's possible that you could use a Ouija board to contact someone who is in another realm?
Well, I believe just like religion is born on faith towards things that don't seem possible, I leave the way the Ouija board works up to other people to decide. Doesn't matter what I think about the Ouija, it's going to work based on what you believe. But as far as them working, clearly they do work. I don't think you outsell Monopoly in 67 if it's not working. I don't think you sell, 14 million boards in just a few years if the board's not working. But how it works, I believe it's up to you. I do believe it works. I mean, it worked for my grandmother. She used it alone and flew on the thing. She could yell out letters and numbers quicker than people would write down what she was saying. And the board didn't work very well for my mother. But when she was 12 years old, she used the Ouija with her girlfriend Linda and my grandmother. The board accurately predicted both of their future husbands' names, Lawrence and Dennis.
No way. Okay,
And we just spent like 10 minutes bashing the name Lawrence.
yeah.
No, we're just commenting.
Oh, he's not Larry.
I mean, yeah.
Okay, so
But he
do you-
goes by Larry, but his legal name is.
okay,
we
so,
love Lawrence.
So do you believe in let's get away from the Ouija board real quick. Do you believe in spirits and ghosts? Is that something that I'm going to tell you right now I do. So do you believe in those kind of things?
Well, I haven't seen any evidence of that as far as belief or faith towards it. I believe certainly energy exists. I've been in places where, like Gettysburg, where have felt a pressure to myself, which I couldn't relate to anything else. And certainly I see a lot of things in the museum with people's reactions and stuff. But as far as me actually having an experience or seeing something, that hasn't happened. I would love for it to happen, but I just haven't seen anything yet.
All right, so help me out. Could we use, and we always need more listeners, could we use a Ouija board to open up a portal to that realm and count all those listeners? Does that seem like something that would be possible?
Sure, seems possible.
Yes. We are going to fuck Joe Rogan. We're going to crush him.
So my question is this, sir. So obviously the intended purpose in general is to use the Ouija board to contact, loved ones. But can something else respond instead of a loved one? Because obviously you're just kind of contacting something in the hinterland. That's my question. Like, you get an unwelcome visitor, so to speak.
No, of course. I mean, well, number one, I think most people use it as a spirit communication tool, but there are plenty of boards that have been created to try to speak to, speak to their past lives, try to read other people's minds. I know people that claim to communicate with plants and animals through the Ouija board. And personally, I'm kind of open to all those things because I've never heard a Ouija story, where I thought the person was lying to me. Mm-hmm. I believe they've experienced those things. But as far as, speaking to someone that's maybe not the nicest or something like that, of course, I look at the Ouija board like a cell phone. And, you don't break or burn it with a bad conversation, you hang up. But obviously, like a cell phone, you don't know who you're talking with. And, you have to use your gut instinct as to who that is.
See, I would like to bring a Ouija board to the bar so we can communicate with Ted. Right? I mean, because sometimes it's like we're not. Who are we reaching when we're talking without the board? We bring the board, we get right to Ted. Because there's a Ted inside you.
On a side note, so this is my only Ouija, this is my true Ouija board story. So when I was about 12 or 13, a best friend of mine at the time, he had a Ouija board, and I think we were obviously trying to use the Ouija board, and then we just by happenstance saw something on TV, just regular TV, because this is back in the 80s, and whatever the paranormal expert said, Ouija boards are very dangerous. I wouldn't have one, and I think that prompted us to just throw out the Ouija board, because when we saw that, it's like, that was pretty scary, so that was actually a pretty scary moment to, because it's right there in front of us, and then there's a guy on TV who's a paranormal expert saying, yeah, they're very dangerous, don't mess with the Ouija board. So
do people, John, do people freak out and throw away their Ouija board? I mean, is that kind of a common thing where there's like it's too close, it's too tight, it's too something?
The funniest thing to me, when I meet people who tell me their Ouija story, which is every day people come to tell me their stories, and it's usually a one and done situation. They're looking for that confirmation there's an afterlife. They use it, they get the confirmation, and then they never want to touch the Ouija board again. So I have plenty of stories of people throwing them away, finding their way back to them. I have people coming in and telling me they've burnt the Ouija board, and the next day they find it in their house unburnt. And a lot of times they try to burn it, and it will not burn. I've had that story a couple times last week. I had someone who was camping in Maine actually bring a board in that they found at the campsite they were setting up, a Ouija board at the bottom of the fire pit. It was not burnt. It had all the ash on it and stuff. So those are common stories to try to get rid of Ouija, is it'll find its way back to you.
Okay, so wow, that's crazy, because now I'm going to say this, I looked this up. Catholic bishops in Micronesia in 2005 called for a ban of Ouija boards, and I saw some fundamentalist groups have publicly burned them. Why do you think? I mean, if it's kind of real, kind of not real, why are they doing these things to kind of give it more? Doesn't it give it more power?
100%. I mean, to me, it's a tool to have a conversation. It doesn't have the power, and it's all about your intent. Like a car, like a gun, it's what you want to do with an item. But I think obviously the Ouija gets blamed for a lot of things that it probably shouldn't get blamed for. When I tell you bad stories about murders or suicides, I never end up going, yeah, that was the Ouija. It's always something else going on. But, I think a lot of it with the rule that you always say goodbye on the Ouija, coming from The Exorcist, it's one of those things that if you believe it, it's true. And I don't say goodbye to most people I talk to in a day. I don't believe that. But if you believe you're supposed to, and you forget, or you think you forget to say goodbye, more than likely the first bad thing that happens, if you get a splinter or you stub your toe, you're probably starting to blame the Ouija board for it. So I think the Ouija gets blamed for a lot of things. Did it cause it? Is it a coincidence? Did you manifest it? And I think most of the times that's how you explain those things.
Yeah, we got rid of our Ouija board when we were. It was a group of friends, and the dad was messing with the lights and making noises and shit. And that's extremely common, right? Everyone's got one of those stories. And
when using it with a friend, if you're using it with someone you don't, your friend, you're not sure if they're pushing it or not. So there's definitely people playing around as well.
Yeah, and we had that experience, and then, like Ted had mentioned, somebody said that they're very dangerous, and so somewhere around the age of like 11 or 12, would we go to somebody's house and they'd have one, we'd be like, man, don't even fuck with those things. They're very, we just stayed away from it. It was crazy for like 3 years, and then you get a little bit older, and then you're like, okay.
I you know what? We never had one, but my buddy did, and I'll tell you this, and my sister's going to listen to the show, and she's going to tell you, her friend Amber, and I was hanging out with Amber's two brothers, their older brothers, and they said they had ghosts in the house, and they had a Ouija board, and those are the two guys that we used the Ouija board with.
Yeah.
And I will tell you right now, they probably were messing with it, but I will tell you right now, that whole thing really freaked me out.
Yeah, I was freaked out. I was very scared of it for a bunch of years.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really religious or superstitious, but honestly, I would not want a Ouija board to be alone with a Ouija board, even if it's in the box. If I had to look at it and it said Ouija on it, I'd just be like, you know what, just something about it. And like I said, maybe that's probably psychological. Well, it's kind of like exorcism. So, with the Catholic Church, a lot of people claim to be possessed by demonic possession. So there's obviously a set of rules. And, how do you decipher if this is actually just severe mental illness like schizophrenia or, possession? So I wonder if it's the same thing with the Ouija board. Are there any bona fide, documented cases of somebody actually reaching something on the other side?
John, you can't verify
like paranormal, yeah.
Yeah, there's no way to verify that a Ouija
anecdotal.
board has ever contacted anybody, right?
Well, I think there's a lot of things that are unexplained about the Ouija board. So, I mean, if you say it's deep in your subconscious, that's where it came from, it's very possible. But I mean, there are plenty of stories where people can't explain how the people were able to get answers that they got.
All right, so I looked it up, and there are researchers and universities that have done studies about the Ouija board and about how two people or more can share ideas or where it kind of works. And they basically said that it isn't just a make believe thing, that you can kind of share between multiple people this thing, and it can work. Have you seen any of these studies?
I have. I mean, certainly early on, scientists called it idiomotor response, which means a lot of times your subconscious and muscle memory. And the Ouija board has a very simple arch to it. And if you closed your eyes, you could almost guess what letter of the alphabet that you're on. But as far as the more people using it, I think there's definitely more of an energy to be used. One of the best conversations I ever had in the museum was meeting a guy who's writing a paper at Harvard, and he was studying the medicinal use of hallucinogenics to treat post-traumatic stress. And so when you start talking about the power of the mind, and someone you know is very sick, they give them placebo, that increases their chance of survival, or positive mental attitude. So as far as the when using your mind towards the Ouija board, I think there's a lot of really cool aspects as to what could have happened. Maybe that explains some of the things for sure.
What retailers have these boards? Like, there's tons of stores that are just like puzzle stores or game stores. Like Mall of America has Games by James. It's kind of a small store, but they have tons of different games that I've never heard of. You could buy a Ouija board there, right? Most likely in stores like that.
Yeah, more than likely, I would say that, like Target and Walmart usually have them. Recently there was like a Beetlejuice edition, a Stranger Things board. So all those pop culture
Nice.
boards with Ouija, those are going to be sold everywhere. I think Spencer's at the mall has
Okay, yeah,
them.
Spencer's, yeah.
I think when you get to certain parts in the country, maybe they're a little harder to find. But here in the Northeast where I am, pretty much any box store, Walmart, Target, they would have them.
And these are all made by Hasbro.
Well, Hasbro owns the trademark on the name, but they actually license the product to a lot of other
Oh,
manufacturers.
okay.
So the Beetlejuice, the Stranger Things board, and the uh, Exorcist board that just came out, those are I'm sorry, yeah, USAopoly. And then there's a Salem edition that came out with from Winning Moves. So they're licensed products, from Hasbro.
So I just did a quick Google search about the Ouija board rules.
louder, Ted.
Well, I just did a quick Google search about the Ouija board rules, and one of them is like, don't play it alone, and another one is, it's best to avoid using the Ouija board in places like cemeteries or your home. It actually says that. Okay, that's enough for me. How about your home?
Yeah.
I was using your home. So.
Well, what's funny is never use it alone. Like I said, that started because of The Exorcist. It's not a rule on any of the boxes prior to that.
Right.
During the 1920s, when there's no war going on, these were actually being marketed as dating games.
Really?
And the rules on the Ouija in 1920 said that it was best played between a man and a woman, best played with the board on your lap, your knees were touching, you're in a dim lit room, and you were unchaperoned. And if you look at the old Norman Rockwell Saturday Evening Post drawing, you'll get a pretty good idea of why it was so popular. So early on, it's a way for a guy and a girl to get together under the guise of, dating.
Yeah.
Well, that explains
makes
a lot
sense.
because Matt's board has a hole in the middle of it. Ouija board surprise.
Okay, so wait a minute. So when they market it like that, so the guy just moves it around till it says sex or hand job. I mean, he's obviously just doing. I mean, they want you to get naked, baby. The spirits want you to get naked. I'm not into
Well,
this.
I think the whole point is times have changed.
It's funny
so
you say that
yeah.
because in the 1970s, I have a board called the Psychic Sex Board. And some of the options are not tonight, I have a headache, lights on, lights off, with a friend. And so I'm sure that was used by them pushing it, a guy pushing it quite a bit. There was also a sex board that was made, probably sold at Spencer's as well. The spirits want you to have sex. And instead of the alphabet numbers, it's just sexual positions.
Oh man, you know what? I love that concept. I really see that's where the girl starts pushing it towards I have a headache, and the guy starts pushing it towards the numbers that he likes. What comes after 68, baby? I don't even. Yeah, I don't. Oh, that is awesome. All right, so you guys have some really cool swag on your website, some cool T-shirts and stuff, but you also have very. I'm guessing like original from like way back in the day. Ouija boards. Is that right? That you sell? I
It's
mean,
true.
and they are expensive.
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, most everyone knows Ouija, but no one knows the other brand names because they weren't very popular. When the war ended, less people cared about these boards. They couldn't compete against Ouija, that kind of thing. So, to have anything non-Ouija is probably going to go for a lot of money because it's pretty rare, not made for a very long time. At the museum, I probably have about maybe about 150 boards for sale, vintage boards, and as early as 1891, the first one, and then I sell new stuff too. But I'm one of the only places in the world that you can go in and look at dozens of vintage antique boards for sale. I usually don't mail order them. I really keep it special so that if you came to the museum, you kind of get the first crack at something rare and unique. And but because of that, yeah, I have dozens for sale at any given time.
Okay, so let's go ahead and say what is your most expensive
Or
and
valuable,
most
yeah,
unique, most
valuable,
valuable
yeah.
board that you have?
Yes.
Well, to me, my most unique board, the one that was like my holy grail to acquire, is a board from the 1930s. It's called the Electric Mystifying Oracle, and it's a metal board. The planchette was metal. It used ball bearing casters, would have a battery inside and a light bulb inside as well. So it would pass over these bumps on the board and it would light up. And in 1933, they tried to sell it for $5, whereas a regular Ouija board sold for $1.50. It didn't sell very well during the Great Depression, and so World War II came. The company scrapped all of them for the war effort. Today, we know of 9 boards and 5 planchettes that still exist. And when that came up for sale, it was part of a huge collection. An old collector having health issues, he wouldn't sell one item; he had to buy the entire thing. And within 2 hours, I secured the funding, rented a car, picked up merch at 5 o'clock in Boston at 5 o'clock, and we drove straight to Florida, 21 hours straight to Florida to buy that board.
Wow.
So to me, it's a real obsession. I would put my obsession for collecting these against any collector of any item out there. I've been known to be in Burbank, California within 48 hours. So I'm probably one of the more obsessed people where I will drop what I'm doing and I will go acquire the item and no hesitation.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, that I think speaks volumes to just how obsessed I am to get these.
Well, I saw an episode of Pawn Stars, the gold and silver store in Vegas, and there was an episode where Chumley had, there was like a board from the early 1900s on there they were trying
Yeah.
to buy. It turned out it wasn't worth like any money. I guess it wasn't that unusual, but it was old. It was like well over 100 years old.
Yeah, there was one that they sold and they didn't know the real history of it. And I actually know the person that bought it on that, and they kicked themselves because that was a pre-registered, pre-trademark. It had the Ouija logo, but it was a very early edition that didn't have those two things listed on it, and so they undersold it. And they were
Oh, wow.
when they after it was bought, they told them,
Yeah.
and they realized they screwed up. But most people are not going to know those kind of rarities with these boards.
So John, a quick question: what is a board out there right now that you don't have that you covet? And do they sell? And do they only have that in the United States, or is that a European or worldwide thing, or is it just indigenous? Is Ouija just indigenous to the United States?
I heard the first part of that, which was
So what
am I-
board are you? What board don't you have that you are coveting? What board? Yeah,
Oh.
what board are you looking for right now
Yeah.
that you don't have?
There's quite a few, but the stuff I'm looking for is stuff that infringed on the patent, and so there was a lot of litigation about destroying the inventory, that kind of stuff. So I'm looking for early 1890s stuff that we know exists, but we only know of 1 to 3 known to still exist today.
Wow. Okay, so let's go back, and people are gonna want to know this. The all metal with the ball bearings.
Yeah.
What is that one worth?
It's
Roughly.
never you're talking about items that have never sold on eBay before. So it's kind of hard to put a value on certain things. You kind of have to know the other collectors, what they have, what they don't have, what they might pay. Do they have kids, disposable income? You basically profile your friends, essentially. This is a very small niche thing to collect, so we pretty much all know each other. I would have to think that if the metal one went up, I think it would easily break $10,000. Yeah.
Oh man, that
And
is.
there's nine known to exist, and the planchette's only 5 known. So, I would think that it would break 10,000.
Wow, that is crazy. Okay, so part of your because you talk about the Talking Board Historical Society that you started in 2013. I'm looking on the things you have, and one of the things you have is a giant Ouija board.
Yes, Rick Schreck, who's the vice president, he actually created the world's largest Ouija board back in 2019. He made it in his shop. He works at a tattoo shop in New Jersey, and for a year and a half, he painted all the panels and projected them on, hand painted them in a garage with no air conditioning, no heat. And Ripley's, believe it or not, picked it up, trucked it up to Salem back in 2019. We put it together on the Salem Common, made sure it all worked together, and it broke the world record. The previous record was a roof of a hotel in Pennsylvania, and Ouijazilla was 2.5 times larger than that roof. So it was 99 sheets of plywood. Each sheet was 4 feet by 8 feet and weighed 70 pounds. Planchette, 15 feet across, 500 pounds. And Ripley's, believe it or not, acknowledged it as the world's largest.
Nice. That's pretty cool.
Dude, that is so awesome.
So here's one question if you could
If
ask
you look
him.
at pictures, it's pretty amazing to watch the drone pictures because people look like ants on it.
Oh no, I'm looking at
I
it right
saw
now.
that.
Yeah, and there's got to be like 15 people trying to push that planchette around.
Here's my question.
Well, one person could use the planchette. We did photo ops, but one person could use it. It had casters on the underneath, and it worked just fine with one person.
Oh, no, but I hope nobody used it by themselves. Yeah, that's a rule.
Does anybody John knows have a Ouija board tattoo because I love Ouija boards so much?
Oh, you got to have a tattoo. You've got to have a Ouija board tattoo, right?
I do not.
What?
I do not. As I've gotten older, I've become more anti-tattoo, and I've actually removed more tattoos than I've gotten. Yeah.
Have you seen a Ouija
Yeah.
board tattoo that someone's had?
I've never seen one.
Oh yeah, yeah. I have friends that have some pretty great ones. A lot with the planchette and stuff. Yeah. It's funny is
That's actually
being in a
pretty cool.
museum.
Yeah.
I meet people who are like super into it, and then their partner's not into it. And I had someone come in recently that had a planchette tattoo underneath their arm, and they're like, "Will you tell my partner that this is safe to have? It's not." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's not going to rub against the alphabet at all." And so yeah, I get to see some pretty awesome tattoos, but for me, I'm not a tattoo person.
And so how long, and I couldn't find this, how long has the museum been open?
It's been open since 2019. And then in May of last year, I opened a second location in Baltimore. So I have two museums now.
Wow. That is just absolutely crazy. And I'm looking at this. I'm looking at some of the neat stuff and the different things you have. You guys had a Ouija Con back in 2015, is that right?
We did. We had a convention down in Baltimore. We wanted to celebrate the 125th anniversary of the Ouija being named in Baltimore. Back then, when the woman Helen Peters named it, it was a rooming house, and today it's condominiums with a 7-Eleven on the first floor. We actually worked with the mayor, and we worked with the 7-Eleven. We have a plaque hanging in the store acknowledging that's where the Ouija was named.
Nice.
I did not realize that. Okay, any plans to have another Ouija Con?
Not right now, but you guys are you're all three of you in Chicago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so we want to do something out in Chicago because if you see a picture of the museum, the back picture of all the boards on the wall, half of those boards were made actually in Chicago. Chicago is probably the next biggest manufacturer outside of Baltimore for the knockoffs for the competitors. Everything from 666 Lakeshore Drive, Chicago, and which was Giftcraft. So there's probably a good dozen, maybe 20 different manufacturers in Chicago from starting as early as 1920s that made boards there. So we really would like to do something out there to acknowledge that.
Oh man, if you guys come out here, we would
Yeah,
love
I'm in
to
for
be
that.
part of that. That would be fantastic. Oh man, yeah, we would absolutely love to be part of that. All right, so before we finish up, I do want to say this. So talking boards started a long time ago. I was doing a little bit of again, I love doing my research. I saw China had talking boards back in the 1100s. Is that right?
Well, they had automatic writing, which is just a component of it. Automatic writing was basically blindfolding someone, them believing they're channeling a spirit, and then just writing or drawing on a piece of paper. So that was like kind of what they're known for. In the spiritualist movement in Europe, they used automatic writing planchettes, which looks just like a Ouija planchette, but would have a pencil at the front and wheels in the back. And it worked by someone channeling a spirit through themselves, same way, writing or drawing. That came to America and crossed paths with our alphabet board. We in America were believing that we were speaking to spirits who were knocking responses back to us, and we believed that we could point to the alphabet on a board and we would hear a knock from a spirit. So those two devices kind of cross paths. So a talking board defined as an alphabet board with a separate pointing device is American mid 1800s.
So do all countries, I mean, when you kind of do some research, and I'm sure you have, do all countries have some form of this kind of thing, like different, I'm going to say religions or different kind of beliefs? Is it in the history everywhere back?
Yeah, I think every culture has some kind of history of trying to talk to the dead, for sure. With the Ouija and the way it looks, I think like in Japan, Koklari is what it's called, and they use a 10 yen coin. They leave a window or a door open, so they invite a spirit in. Spirit has a way to leave. So it's like slightly different versions of it. And of course, countries like the Philippines or like Thailand, they're familiar with the Ouija, but they don't sell them in the store. So they make their own version, which they call Spirit of the Glass. And sometimes it's either Scrabble tiles or alphabet cards laid in a circle with a wine glass upside down. So it's the same premise, but it's like a homemade version. And so that's pretty common in other countries. But this is mostly, the talking board is mostly an American thing.
Wow, that is awesome. All right, John, listen, we really appreciate you being on. I tell you, I told these guys before we started, I said I felt like I did so much research that there's only one guy who knows more about Ouija boards than me, but now I realize that's completely inaccurate, and I know absolutely nothing compared to you and probably all of your friends. But yeah, really appreciate you being on. And listen,
my pleasure.
If you do something in Chicago, absolutely just assume that we will be part of it. I promise
I will let you know.
Oh,
Definitely.
man, it is so awesome. All right, thanks, John.
Thank you, John.
Yeah,
Thanks, John.
let me do this. Let me say this real fast. The Salem Witchboard Museum in Salem, Massachusetts. If you're there, go to the website. It is
What's
really
what's
cool.
the name of the website?
Go to Google and type in Salem Witchboard Museum. I mean, you can't. It's Google, man.
Okay,
You
all
can't.
right,
You can't screw this up. You literally can't screw it up. John, thank you so much for being on.
Thank you, guys.
All right, and good luck with everything.
Thank you. Be well.
Thank you as well. Take care.
Right. Wow, I'm telling you right now, man.
I'm not kidding. We were afraid of it for like 3 years, from the age like 10
course
to
we were.
I'm still
like
scared of it.
9 to 12 or something like that. We had just a crazy experience with one when we were like 8 or 9.
What happened?
A dad was messing around.
Oh, so
upstairs.
it wasn't real. Yeah, okay.
No, and then just freaking us out, and
Yeah.
we didn't know he was home. And then from that point on, if we went to someone's house,
Oh,
and
wait,
they had one-
hold on a second. You didn't know he was there and doing that?
Right.
Oh my God.
What was
yeah,
that?
I would have never
What-
touched
Oh,
that
we were
thing in a
8 years
million
old, dude. It was
yeah,
my
it's
God.
scare so what was it? What was that Hitchcock movie, Dial M for Murder, where the woman's getting like menacing phone calls, and it turns out the guy's in the house the whole time. So it turned out the dad was upstairs the whole time, messing with you kids.
Yes.
You meddling,
That's exactly what it
you
was.
meddling kids.
Okay, I have to admit, I think I would have been the guy who did that if my
I would do it too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Honestly, if Jack and Savannah were there,
That's a hardcore prank.
and their cousins were over,
Yeah.
I would absolutely have messed with them.
So I saw this prank the other day on, I don't know if it was like Reddit or YouTube. So this woman gets in what she thinks is an elevator, and I
And she
don't know.
plummets to her death.
No, I don't know how real this is. She gets in the elevator, she presses a button, but apparently it's an elevator, and so the lights go out in the elevator. It's pitch black, but obviously they have some infrared camera, so they have a door, a panel. So this girl crawls through, and she looks like she's Linda Blair from The Exorcist. She's got the white gown on, she's got the ghost face, and then I guess she stands up, and then the lights come on, and she's like right there, like just screams in the woman's face, and that woman is just so freaked out. She's got her face turned, and she's just like crying, and because she's she can't move, she can't go anywhere. She's in the elevator. Then the lights go out again, and the girl crawls through the panel, the secret door, and then the lights come back on, and she's just completely. And people are laughing their ass off, and this woman's completely traumatized. It's just
That doesn't
terrible.
even seem remotely cool.
Doesn't seem like a prank at all. It seems pretty. So
Honestly, at this point, I think I know enough people that would probably have a heart attack and drop dead.
yeah.
so how do you spell Ouija board?
Ouija,
right?
Yeah.
But it's pronounced differently all over, right? Because
I
he's saying
think
it
he's
differently.
saying Ouija. I think that's the way
but
you're supposed to.
Yeah, but you were saying it differently too.
I think I say Ouija, but
I always say Ouija because it's
Is it
regional.
Ouija-
We
is it-
say
is it
Ouija board
Ouija?
in Chicago, but I'm sure they say it's somewhere.
because that's the way we say it.
So
over by
it's
there.
it's actually Ouija.
Ouija.
We actually say
Okay.
fucking Ouija board.
fucking Ouija board over by there.
I thought you said the Bears.
Yeah. No, I think, and the whole thing is it's a witch board. That's the whole thing. Or a talking board. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's a talking board. And then Ouija is the name brand.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a name brand of it.
So the bottom line is you can't use it at home, and you can't use it at a cemetery, and you can't play it alone. So I guess I won't be getting a Ouija board anytime soon.
Listen, I'm telling you right now, I as soon as he talked about the sex board, that was the first thing I thought about using it. I wonder how many times I was just like, let's take off all of our clothes.
You know, I got a confession that Norman Rockwell painting, the famous painting,
Right.
I didn't know that was a Ouija board.
Wait,
which,
what?
which famous painting?
The Saturday Evening Post. There's a very famous Norman Rockwell. There's a woman and a man sitting at a small table across from each other.
That's a Ouija board?
It's a Ouija board, yeah.
No way.
Yeah, well, he mentioned it, and I looked up the photo, and I'm like, I never realized that. All these years, I've seen that photo. I didn't know what the hell they were doing.
Okay.
I didn't know what that
solved.
was.
Yeah, mystery solved.
But I guess it would be in the title of that painting or whatever.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it was a marketing campaign like he had said, like play it with your date. It's a date thing. It was a date game.
Right.
Well, think about it. There's no cell phones. There's no nothing, right? It's just like you have to literally entertain yourself at home.
Well, how else are you going
to
talk your girlfriend into getting naked?
Yeah. So.
I mean, it's if it's not a spirit, it's like, baby, I don't want to be possessed by the devil. We have to do this.
So if you're in a Ouija board with your wannabe girlfriend, you'd be like, if you don't want to have sex, pull it one time. If you don't want to have sex, pull it one time. If you don't want to have sex, pull it 99 times. If you do want to have sex, pull it one time. Okay.
That's our buddy Mick's favorite joke. That's our I love that joke. It's one of my favorites. Wow. Yeah, and this thing, I'm telling you, man, I'm looking at these, and the museum is it's not some fly by night kind of bullshit thing. Yeah. I mean, it is.
Oh, it has two of them.
Beautiful. Yeah, the one I'm looking at here is absolutely a beautiful building. Beautiful insides.
I didn't ask. Is there a charge for admission to get into?
Ted,
on the website?
Can you get anything for free?
Hugs?
Yeah. No, Ted,
That's not free either.
If you do enough hugs, all hugs cost money. All hugs cost money. Don't kid yourself in any way, shape, or form. All right. Here we're gonna put this to bed really quick, but I wanted to do this because I thought this was the worst story I've ever heard in my life. Okay. The worst thing. Okay. I ran across a story, and the headline says, and this seems terrible: the 7 best dog breeds for protection against jaguars.
Oh, I know.
Did you? Oh, you saw this? Did
no,
you see
but
that?
there's the Razorbacks against the lions. They use those. They bred those dogs to hunt lions.
Rhodesian Ridgebacks.
Ridgebacks.
Right.
I'm sorry, I said Razorbacks.
Yeah. But no. But my thing was this. Okay, you're getting a dog to fight a jaguar.
They bred. Yeah.
And I didn't know this. It's not the football player, by the way.
Or a puma.
Yeah.
Right. If you don't know this, the jaguar has one of the most powerful. It's one of the most powerful predators in all of nature, with a bite force of 1,500 psi.
I think they have the strongest bite force of any big cat.
Yeah. And so I'm thinking,
oh, you know what?
if you're buying a dog for this, I mean, would a gun work better?
Well, I think it's like for example, some of these villages in India where the jaguars just kind of roam around. So I mean, we're not talking about. But yeah, those things are yeah. I think there's a dog called the African or the Afghanistan like Kangal. I mean, there's some pretty.
So okay, you ready? That's very good. So there's 7 best. The Kangal,
yeah,
and the Rhodesian Ridgeback are 2 of the dogs. That you want to have.
You probably need more than one.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess you want to have multiple.
Like 3 or 4 of them against one jaguar.
Well, I was thinking 12 or 15.
Yeah,
exactly.
Okay.
Tibetan Mastiff.
Yeah. I heard of those.
Okay,
yep, they're mean.
Anatolian.
Those are huge dogs.
Yeah.
Anatolian Shepherd. The Great Pyrenees. Which I saw pictures. I didn't know. And this one I never heard of in my whole life. A Buceron.
I don't ever heard of that.
And a poodle.
Oh, okay.
One of those little tiny poodles. I guess the poodle just annoys the shit out of the jaguar, and the jaguar just.
So I saw a video where what was it called? It's that. Honey badger. The honey badger. It's got that stripe. It looks like a skunk, but it's not. It is just a mean little thing. And I guess it was holding off a pack of like leopards. Like the leopards were, wherever in the Serengeti they are. Like it's trying to, they're trying to, bite this thing. And this thing's just, I mean, as best it could, but obviously it bluffed its way out. Of course, it was just, it's so, vicious.
A jaguar and a leopard are 2 different.
Yeah,
they're 2 different.
Right? Yeah, but they're not that different.
So I think the jaguar
different enough.
I think the jaguar doesn't. Actually, it's the only big cat that doesn't meow or make a roar, it doesn't make any noise, and it doesn't change its facial expression. So I think some zookeeper years ago got mauled by a jaguar because obviously it's in its enclosure, but I guess there's no warning sign from it. Like you can't tell if it's angry or
Just assume it's always angry.
yeah, because it's just got like a poker face. But yeah, I wouldn't get near it for any reason, of course. So
Well, he should have gone in with a Kangal or a Rhodesian Ridgeback.
yeah.
Yeah, that would have been a good play. I mean, Mark, you and Ted are both men, but you're completely different men.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
I know, but I mean, a cheetah has the same kind of. But a cheetah is much different than a leopard or a jaguar.
Well, cheetah's a lot more slender. A cheetah,
And I guess it's regions, right? I know.
yeah.
yeah, it's probably how
They're
it lives.
probably the
and-
most beautiful cheetahs. I mean, cheetahs are, but leopards and jaguars, to me, I mean, the spots and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm always getting them on my feet. And
Well, plus a leopard.
Instagram.
I mean, a leopard's so strong because they can carry like dead weight because they're the ones that can climb up trees, so they'll kill
Right,
something. And they'll just climb up the tree like holding it. I mean, basically think about carrying something, twice your body weight, and you're just climbing up a tree because it keeps away from other predators. So the leopard's the only one that can do that. But I saw a jaguar jump out of a tree to attack a crocodile in the river.
I just saw that video.
Yeah.
I just saw that.
What?
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was like up in the tree,
yeah.
And the crocodile, the alligator was swimming, and it just jumped on in the water.
It couldn't get anything else.
It wanted that.
I've seen many videos where they go after alligators. Yeah,
That seems so like you're in there. You seem like you're in the alligators.
dude,
like,
it's an amazing
spot.
video.
Yeah, they can swim because obviously they can swim. It's like a bear, right?
Right.
A bear can run. It can climb trees. It could swim. So you're not gonna.
Yeah, but just can't throw a touchdown pass.
Well, yeah, obviously.
I don't want to trigger Mark. Football season.
Wow,
Their training camp will start soon.
Is there a 2-drink minimum for this entertainment?
First game's a month away.
Really, that soon, huh? Who's their opening schedule?
What? No.
Preseason, yeah.
preseason.
No,
No.
practice games. Okay. Yeah. You know,
We'll get into that
how many
later.
players? This guy's going to be the greatest player in the history of the game. Now it's a real game? Practice game. Okay. Let's put this thing to bed. Teddy, I'm going to let you have the first final thought.
I'm going to check out that Ouija board website because I want to see what type of merchandise they have. I might be interested in a potential T-shirt.
They're very cool.
Yeah.
And the boards are very expensive. I couldn't believe
How much is
Oh,
like,
he
how
has
much,
the vintage ones and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that.
how much is
vintage
like the
ones.
cheapest board there that you happen?
I mean,
to
you could
see?
just get.
like an average board.
You could just go to the store and buy one.
right. But if I want to buy one,
Oh,
from
there's all
what-
sorts of different ones from different years and stuff.
Yeah.
They're some of them are very expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Yep.
All right, Marquise.
Yeah,
final
I'm
thought?
going to go buy a T-shirt too. That's my final thought.
We should be wearing Ouija board T-shirts while we're golfing. I like
So
that.
you're going to get a white one or a black one, Ted?
I'm going to my dark place.
So you're gonna buy a.
I'm going to buy an orange one.
Yeah. So this is what I'd like to do. I'd like to get a Ouija board. And what I would like to do is I would like to contact just for over the last 4 or 5 years all the Russian generals and the Russian officials who have committed suicide, and I just want to make sure. I just want to talk to them and just make sure that yes, they did, and there was no foul play whatsoever.
Right.
I just want to contact.
I just want to verify.
I just want to contact all the Bears coaches after George Hallis to ask them why they throw a 3-yard screen pass on 3rd and long. So why you keep doing
Dead
that?
or alive, it'll work.
Dick
I'm telling you, he's got the idea. I want to bring it to the bar and talk to Ted with it.
Dick Duran.
We'd
Mark
have better
Mark
luck
Trestman.
talking to Ouija board sometimes than Ted.
You know what? That's not an inaccurate statement.
No.
Mark Trestman, why do you hate winning football games?
I think it's because he can't. Okay. We have a lot of guests coming up, man. I am just throwing things in there. In the next couple of weeks, we're going to be talking chili. We're going to be talking nightmares. We're going to be talking pizza. Leather. And some really cool stuff coming up. We've got some really, I'm telling you right now, I am impressed by the number of smart people that want to be on this show, despite the fact that they're going to be on with the three of us. Honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I really just don't understand it sometimes.
Well,
And
yeah,
by
it's-
the way,
it's a pity party
yeah,
for them. That's all.
the Waffle House has a museum,
Yeah.
and I just got the email back today. They are not interested in being on the show.
Well, you know,
the Waffle House.
that-
we have been turned down
But you know the
by
funny
the
thing,
motherfucking
I like,
Waffle
I
House.
like the Waffle House. I know it's a place you end up at 2 a.m. when you've been drinking, but honestly, there's something about the Waffle House and those plastic laminated menus and the simplicity of their menu that just in small doses, it's from a bygone era. It's got the stools there.
Drunken
you got
doses,
Yeah,
Ted.
yeah.
I went, listen, I told you the story. We went one night about 3 a.m, and then for some reason, everybody woke up and we all went back. We took the wives and kids and we all went back.
To the scene of the crime.
Exact same place.
Yeah.
I will tell you right now, it was difficult to eat there. It was. Once you see it and
Waffle
you're
House?
sober, yeah.
Oh.
Once you see it and you're sober and you're just like, I can't believe. But I tell you right now, at 3:00 in the morning, I would have killed if somebody said you can have one more. I'd be like, yeah, I'll kill this guy sitting right next to me. I will kill him right now to get
For an
more.
extra sausage patty, I'm in.
Yeah. But at 10:00 in the morning, when you're when you have
a moment of clarity, yeah.
you're just looking at it like this. You go, I'm supposed to eat that with my mouth? Yeah, I don't know.
So what you're saying is sometimes alcohol can force you to make bad decisions. That's the takeaway from this.
yes, it can. And then, sir, you first let me get straight. You went to the Waffle House at 3 in the morning. Then you went home and used your Ouija board. Yes, I did.
Well, I think it was a 7-hour turnaround time that got you.
It was. It's 7-hour turnaround. All right. Listen, enjoy. Keep listening, and we will see everybody next week.